my drillers, it's your geezer, Big Daddy Go! Welcome to a brand new video, where today, my friends, I'm going to be talking about demonology talents. I know, I said I'd do this even before they did this ridiculous rework, which has, honestly been a catastrophe, and what's coming in 10.2 is an abysmal joke, let's be honest. So, today I would like to share my thoughts on how I would rework demonology in its current state in 10.1.5. I will be adjusting some talents, bringing some old abilities back into the game, which will hopefully seem a lot more appealing to a lot of you real demonology fans. So, to start off, I'm gonna put it out there, I'm ignoring the class tree. I don't care about it in this video. Yes, it has its inherent issues with 1 RNG caps. Well, actually, no, there's about 3 RNG talents. But, whatever. We're gonna ignore those for now. And we're just gonna focus solely on demonology. So, I want to start off with, well, what's good? There's plenty good, actually. Tyrant, for example, is great. The way it is now, these 3 points, perfect. Nether Portal as it is now, amazing. This is the perfect Master Summoner theme for demonology. I know some people have argued its removal, but why? Like, to fit the quota of not having bursty classes? But why does that need to be a thing? This is probably one of the most fun and interactive cooldowns I've ever played within a game. Like, most cooldowns are just like, for example, okay, let's just pretend Scourge Bomber's the Army of the Dead, and oh look, boom, oh I've summoned my Army of the Dead, big damage, boom, 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 oh I've combusted, oh I've used Icy Veins, oh I've used Void Form. Actually no, Void Form does give you a new button, but even so, I feel like it really does change like your playstyle temporarily during Nether Portal. Instead of your usual summoning style of getting the most demons out of your spells, your new summoning style is to, well, get the most summons going. Just boom, quick summon, quick summon, quick summon, quick summon. Break all those shards up. It's like a new mini game going on in your rotation. And it's only every 3 minutes. You can still get decent damage out even if it does fail, to be fair, you know. You're not completely ruined. What you are completely ruined by is RNG. But, you know, if you don't do it perfectly, you're not out of the game. You can move for mechanics. You can mess up a bit. It is fine, just not optimal, okay? So, yeah. Honestly, I think this cooldown is amazing as it is. And adding in Gul'dan's ambition, having the Pit Lord come out, oh my god, this is actually the best thing to have come from Dragonflight. The fact the Pit Lord comes out and it's empowered by all your active demons as well, amazing. Genuinely, I think the best thing that has came from Dragonflight is this talent right here. Better than all the raids, all the content, all the other classes, all their reworks, all their talents. This right here. Best thing. Amazing. So I believe these 3 points should stay in the game, stay as they are, as with these. Most of these points, well, talents, to be honest, I think are fine. I really don't see an issue with them. There are a few things I'm going to suggest later on to be removed, but I'm going to suggest that as it flows better with the video. So, here's something I do think needs to be removed. Immutable Hatred and Guillotine. Now, you might be thinking, well, why Guillotine? I can understand Immutable Hatred. It sucks. Yeah? But why Guillotine? Well, think of it this way. We already have Fellstorm, we already have either Scourge Bombers or Demonic Strength, and we already have Implosion. So, I don't really understand why we need Guillotine as well. And even so, if we do need this extra bit of AoE, I have a better suggestion for later. But I believe remove this and replace it with the most beloved cooldown in the entire game. Well, at least for us demolocks. Metamorphosis. Bring it back. Even if you called it something like, I don't know, Become the Demon or something. Just so it's not got the same name as Havoc and Vengeance, the Demon Hunter stuff. Just bring back Demonology Metamorphosis. I think we do need a warlock-centric build with Demonology. It is the Master Summoner, and I do believe the Master Summoner build should be main build for PvE. But for PvP, I can see why it's not practical. And anyway, who doesn't love Metamorphosis? It's really cool. You press it, you become a demon, you get a few new abilities to play around with for a bit, and then you go back to normal. One of the coolest cooldowns in the game, and I think it needs a return. But then, what else would I do? Well, Infernal Command is, it is okay, to be fair, but it doesn't need to exist in the game. It's just another modifier for the sake of having a modifier. I think we could bring back Fell Covenant for this, honestly. Fell Covenant was the, well, if you knew the Bell Spider's legendary in Shadowlands, it's that. You know, you press Shadow Bolt 4 times, and you get the juiciest demon bolts. Some people like it, some people hate it. Which is why I would suggest Metamorphosis may be coming here in the middle, and the Expendables being replaced with Sacrificed Souls. I don't see why the Expendables should exist, really. This is not another buff you pretty much permanently have up. Okay, albeit I know some people don't. But, yeah, I think move Sac Souls to Expendables, and for now let's just pretend that's Expendables. And have it so that it links to Metamorphosis at the bottom. You can either play with Sac Souls, or Shadow Covenant, or Fell Covenant, whatever the hell they renamed it to. Just call it Bell Spiders. And you have that Demon Bolt playstyle. Now what do we get on top of that? Oh, you're gonna like this one. And Torn Ornaments, bye-bye. Decimating Bolt, get back in the game. We want Decimating Bolt back, honestly. I can't think of why we wouldn't want Decimating Bolt back. It needs to make a reappearance, and I think this is how. So, there's one slight issue with the fact that that's 2 talent points, and that's 1. So, I think there would be the trade-off of, Bell Spiders or Sac Souls. You'd only be able to put a singular point into. And the other one would have 2 points if you were going for as juicy a Demon Bolt as possible. Or you'd sacrifice something else. So now we're looking at these 3 talents here. Well, Expendables would be moved here in my ideal world. Stolen Power, 1 point. Expendables, 1 point. Pact for your other, 2 points. I think we can sack these off and get 4 additional points. What can we do from that? Well, it's another spell that was very, very good. It's more so for PvP purposes, for Demonology. And that's Falkiel's Consumption. I think it should go side by side to Demonic Tyrant. And players should have the choice of either playing with Tyrant and Falkiel's, or even being able to do both. Mix and match. So we now have 4, like, main talents sort of thing to define our build, to juggle what we do. It could be the Master Summoner, we can be the God of Metamorphosis, we can use Falkiels, and we can use Tyrant, and we can mix that up 2 out of the 4 all the time. That would make Demonology infinitely more interesting. I think it'd really flush out some of the issues it has in PvP, and it would keep it going very nice in PvE. You also might be thinking, well, Cal, what would you do for, like, the other 3 talent points you got left? And I'm not overly sure. I'd have to do a little bit more thinking about that. But there would be talents that would interact with Falkiel's consumption in such a way that I think would be much more enjoyable. Now, we've got a few other talents here, which I think could really do with some alterations. I think Doom and Kazak's Final Curse are great. It's a bit sad that they don't see play, but I think they're great. Dread Calling, also a very interesting talent. But Demonic Calling, this is what I really meant to go and hover over. I don't like this. RNG, instant Dreadstalkers. Either make it guaranteed, or just give us ripped from the portal back. For those of you who don't know, that's the third Dreadstalker. Demonic Calling, I mean, if you've been watching me up until 10.1.5 when this talent was mandatory, I opted not to use it. And doing so granted me much bigger damage. I mean, I had removed Demonic Calling so I could play with Vile Fiend. And, much more enjoyable playstyle. I never had to rely on the RNG of this being instant because I knew it's always going to be a 2-shard hardcast. And it just felt way more enjoyable. So I would keep that as is. We're looking here. Felsunder I think has been really interesting. I quite like this. It does add another layer of complexity to Demonology's AoE. And I don't see a problem with it being in the game. So, cool. Keep it in. Only thing is, I would like to see maybe an interaction with Bile Scourge Bombers. Because Felsunder being in the game does make Felstorm and Demonic Strength the only real viable options here. So, it's a bit of a shame that. Cavitation, I would like to see this removed and replaced with the 4-set bonus of this season, but not the big buff that we get, not the, what is it, 40% increased demon damage or something, but more so just the cooldown reduction on Grimoire Felguard, and maybe we, like, if we make that a 1-pointer, and we could move, I don't know, something here. I mean, crit chance is a bit of an L, but, you know, just, what if it was just primary Felguard's damage, 2-pointer, 5% and 10%. That'd be quite a bit more enjoyable, I reckon. Just like this. This is better. It's just flat damage increase. Way better. See, a lot of these talents are pretty good. This one is a bit of an L. If Dreadstalkers are to come back to being meta, I do think this needs to be reworked so it's not so RNG. But, yeah. Shadow's Bite, perfectly fine. Bloodbound Imps, I like the talent that they're going to give us in 10.2 in replacement for this. But, like I say, I think we need Rip Through the Portal back to give us that extra guaranteed Demonic Core, just to balance out the Demonic Core economy. That would be much better. Actually, I said making this a 2-point talent. Let's take that point back out, leave it as it is, but, you know, instead of crit chance, just damage. And let's actually make a choice note here of either Demon Wrath or Implosion. Because Demon Wrath is very, very cool. Now, it doesn't add an extra AoE ability like Guillotine did, which I'd argue is quite useless. But it makes it so you have the choice of what AoE ability you play with. So, yeah, I think that'd be amazing. Bring us back to that Legion feel a bit. And, yeah, I think we should have it. Malefic Pact. No. Imperator. No. I think if they want to do something whack like this, just give us a line from Carnivorous Stalkers to Doom. So we don't have to feel like absolute Luddites picking one of these two talents. What would I replace it with, though? It's a really good question. I mean, if I'm honest, I would replace this with, maybe a flat damage increase to Vile Fiends. I think that would be a lot more interesting than seeing Imps dominate your meters. And then the Handle Down damage is actually quite cool. I like it, the fact that... Okay, let's get real here, stream. we're summoning down a meteor, which ends up summoning imps. Why does that meteor not deal a notable amount of damage? I think having it so that Hand Gul'dan does damage is great. The crit, not so much. I'm not a big fan of the crit. So yeah, I would have that changed. Now, Umbral Blaze is exceptionally boring. Another RNG dot chance to really, like, we don't even play around it. So, what would we do instead is a great question. It might be nice to have some form of talent that might convert crit into a more stable form of damage. But that might be getting a bit ridiculous here. I don't know, just, maybe bring back one of the talents that increased our demonic core, economy. I think that'd be a lot more enjoyable. So, we've now covered just about everything, okay? Okay, maybe Soul Strike could actually do with going down there or something so it actually sees some play. Would be interesting to have Soul Strike being played, but playing around the Felguard's actually quite boring, believe it or not. He's nice to have out as a side pet and our guy who helps us out all the time, but we've now evolved into a much more masterful summoner. Like, all we're really missing at this point is summoning a Nathrazim or something like that, you know? There's not much. We can summon just about everything. Although Nathrazim technically demons anymore? Don't know. But anyway, I did mention about Falkiels, and there's 3 more point nodes. I've had some thoughts. So, I believe our 2-point talent should actually determine how much health you're going to rip from your demons. But I think it should be at the bottom. See, there's a risk to putting health from your demons, and that's the fact that your demons can die. So, I think the Warlock should have the option to use talents to determine just how much health it takes out. So that they can, you know, play a bit smarter. You can be either all in, you can semi-commit, or you can just have a relatively decent Falkiels. I think that'd still be really cool. And then just above that, I would bring back Demonic Empowerment. But not the damage component, because we have Tyrant in the game. And if we were to be like, yeah, let's give increased damage and increased damage and increased damage, all of a sudden we have so many modifiers, it's like Shadowlands Windwalker, and we're just going to be doing crazy one-shots in the game. But I think more so just, it acts in a way as a temporary rallying cry. I think that would be quite interesting. And, of course, it should be open to tuning, because while these changes all sound amazing, it does run the risk of Demonology becoming an overpowered spec, and that's not good for the health of the game. I think these changes make the spec infinitely more fun. It might be worth trialing it, but with low damage numbers for the spec. You know, I wouldn't be averse to being the weakest DPS spec in the game if I could have the most fun rotation. And then afterwards, after it's kind of been put into a position where it's playable and fun, we can maybe think about upping those numbers and tuning it so that it's viable in content and whatnot. That's what I think. If I were to do a rework, this is how I would tackle it. Maybe I'll make a few amendments and sit to myself thinking. And if I do, I'll put them down in the comments below. I would also really like to hear what you guys would have to say. Unless you're going to say remove Nether Portal. In that case, I severely disagree with you. Nah, if you are going to say that, put that down though. And say why. Because I would be interested to discuss and debate and kind of work together as a team to come out with the best outcome for Demonology Warlock. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't enjoy the video, don't bother disliking, because it doesn't matter. You can also leave comments down below if you want to share your thoughts and opinions on this, and you want to spark a bit of discussion, and yeah, also consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a long one, and that is me over and out for the day. Sweet.